There's a reason Danville, California keeps showing up on lists of the best places to live in the Bay Area. And today I want to explain what actually draws people here. Because from the outside, Danville can look just like another suburban town. It is charming, but to really see, I want to open that up to you today. But once people spend time here, they start to understand why so many families and professionals choose it, and why many of them stay much longer than they may have originally planned. And if you're thinking about relocating or trying to figure out which East Bay community might fit your lifestyle, this video will walk you through what living in Danville really looks like day to day, beyond home prices or online rankings. We'll talk about location, lifestyle, community, schools, and small things people don't always expect that end up mattering the most. By the end, you'll have a clear sense of whether Danville feels like the right fit for you. Let's start with location, because that's usually where the decision begins. One of the biggest reasons people choose Danville is location. It sits right in San Ramon Valley along the 680 corridor, which gives residents access to major job centers while still feeling removed from the intensity of larger cities. From here, you can reach Walnut Creek in about 10 minutes, Oakland in roughly 30, and San Francisco, depending on traffic, usually around 45 minutes to an hour. For many people relocating from busier areas, that balance really becomes important. You're connected, but you also don't feel crowded. Danville also works well for people whose work takes them in different directions. It works for both, whether you're going to Silicon Valley, so some commute that way, others head towards the East Bay, Oakland, Berkeley hubs, San Francisco, and many now work remotely. They still want accessibility when they need it, though. Another advantage is proximity to transportation without living directly next to it. Nearby BART stations include Walnut Creek and Dublin, and these make regional travel easier, while Danville itself stays quieter and more residential. And then there's something people don't always expect until they experience it. Even though you're close to everything, daily life here feels slower, but slower in a good way. Errands are easier, no parking tickets. Traffic inside town is very manageable. Not a big deal at all. You're not constantly navigating congestion just to get through your day. And that combination, accessibility without chaos, is often what makes Danville stand out once people start comparing cities side by side. And once location checks the box, the next thing people usually notice is the atmosphere of the downtown area. And because that's really the social center of the community, and you'll love it. Downtown Danville is one of the first places people connect with emotionally when they visit here. It's walkable, it's clean, it's thoughtfully maintained, but more than that, it feels active without feeling busy. It's manicured, it's beautiful. You'll find locally owned restaurants, small boutiques, coffee shops, outdoor patios that stay consistently lively through the week. It's the kind of downtown where people actually spend time, not just pass through. On weekends, you'll see families walking along Harts Avenue, people meeting with friends for brunch, and neighbors stopping to talk because they recognize each other. There's a strong sense here of familiarity, and that is what people notice right away. Community events also play a big role. The farmers market, seasonal festivals, holiday lighting events, and summer gatherings bring residents together regularly. These aren't occasional attractions, they're part of the rhythm of living here. And what stands out to many people relocating from larger cities is how comfortable the environment feels. You can park easily, walk at your own pace, spend the afternoon downtown without feeling rushed or crowded. It really creates a lifestyle where going out feels simple again. For a lot of residents, downtown becomes an extension of home, a place to meet, relax, stay, have fun, get connected to the community. And once people experience that sense of community, the next question usually becomes about schools. And for many families, that plays a major role in choosing where to settle long term. Schools are one of the biggest reasons Danville families consider Danville. And it's often becomes a deciding factor for people relocating to the area, of course. Danville is primarily served by the San Ramon Valley Unified School District, which is very well known throughout the East Bay for strong academics, supportive programs, and consistent performance over time. But what many buyers notice isn't just the ranking or scores, it's the overall environment. Schools here tend to have high parent involvement, active extracurricular programs, and communities that place strong value on education. And that creates stability, not only for students, but for neighbors as well. Even buyers without school-age children often pay attention to this because school districts play a significant role in long-term home value and resale demand. Areas with strong schools tend to attract steady interest across different market cycles. Another thing families appreciate is the variety of options available, from elementary through high school, along with access to parks, sports programs, and community activities that support a well-rounded lifestyle outside of the classroom. For many people, moving from more densely populated urban cities, the transition feels very noticeable. Schools feel more connected to the community, and the daily routines tend to feel much more manageable. And once families feel confident about schools, they usually start looking at lifestyle from outside, especially the space that has the recreation, which is another very strong draw for the Danville area and where it really stands out. One of the biggest things people notice quickly about Danville is how connected daily life feels to the outdoors. The town sits near the base of Mount Diablo State Park, which creates a natural backdrop you see almost everywhere you go. The hills, the open space, the changing light throughout the day gives the area a calm atmosphere that's hard to describe until you experience it in person yourself. Outdoor activity here isn't something you plan occasionally. It tends to become part of your everyday routine. Many residents walk or bike ride along the Iron Horse Trail, which runs directly through Danville and connects several communities throughout the valley. In the mornings and evenings, you'll see people out walking dogs, jogging, cycling, or just enjoying time outside. There's numerous neighborhood parks, many hiking trails, and open space areas that are very close nearby. So access to nature never feels far away. Families spend time outdoors year-round, whether it's youth sports, weekend hikes, or simply just being outside after work or school. For many buyers coming from more urban environments, this often becomes one of the biggest lifestyle changes. You still have access to the Bay Area opportunities, but your day-to-day surroundings feel quieter and more open. And over time, many residents realize that this accessibility to the outdoor space changes how they spend their time. And weekends become less about leaving town to recharge and more about enjoying where you already live. And that connection to the environment plays a big role in why people feel settled here and why it also ties so closely into other factors that buyers often ask about. Another reason people are drawn to Danville is the overall sense of safety and community that you feel living here. And while statistics can tell you part of the story, what most residents notice first is the day-to-day experience. Neighborhoods tend to feel active and very well cared for. You'll see people walking in the evenings, walking in the early mornings, kids riding bikes, neighborhoods spending time outside, and parks that are consistently being used. There's a level of comfort that comes from living in a place where daily routines feel predictable. They feel calm. And community involvement also plays a big role in that. Local events, school activities, you have youth sports, and neighborhood gatherings. All these things create natural opportunities for people to connect. And over time, many residents feel they recognize familiar faces, always running into each other at the coffee shops, at parks, and community events. For people relocating from larger or fast-paced cities, this often really stands out right away. The environment feels more personal and less anonymous. And that sense of stability tends to carry out over into how people experience home ownership here. Many homeowners stay for years and years, sometimes decades and multi-decades, which helps neighborhoods feel established rather than constantly changing. It creates an atmosphere where people feel settled and not temporary. And once buyers feel confident about a community and safety, the next thing they usually start exploring is homes for themselves and what living in Danville would actually look like from a housing and a lifestyle perspective. One of the things that may surprise many people when they start exploring Danville is the variety of homes and neighborhoods available within one town. You'll find everything from established neighborhoods with classic ranch-style homes to newer construction, larger estate properties, and communities with more modern updates and open floor plans. Lot sizes, this is a big one, also tend to be larger compared to many parts of the Bay Area, which give homeowners more outdoor space, added privacy, and a quieter residential feel. Different areas of Danville offer slightly different lifestyles. Some neighborhoods are closer to downtown, the west side, and walking trails, while others sit alongside the hillside with views and are more tucked away. That variety allows buyers to choose what fits their daily routines rather than adapting their lifestyles to the home. Another thing people notice is how well-maintained neighborhoods. They've aged so good over time. There's so much pride of ownership. The trees are mature. There's established landscaping and thoughtfully planned streets. Many of them are very wide streets, giving the area a sense of character that newer developments sometimes lack. For buyers relocating from dense urban environments, the shift can feel very significant. Homes often provide more space to live, work, and gather, and while still being connected to the broader Bay Area. And beyond square footage, people often talk about how their homes support a different pace of living, more time outdoors, more time for family and entertaining guests, and stronger separation between work and personal life. Once buyers begin picturing daily life inside the home, the conversation naturally shifts towards something less tangible but equally important, which is the overall pace of life in Danville that it offers here. One of the things people often don't fully understand about Danville until they spend time here is how different the pace of daily life feels It's not slow in the sense of being disconnected or quiet to a fault. It instead, though, feels very balanced. You still have access to work opportunities, dining, of course, shopping, everything the Bay Area offers, but the day-to-day life just feels more manageable. Simple things tend to take less effort, such as running errands doesn't feel rushed, getting across town is generally very straightforward, and many residents find that they just spend less time navigating congestion and more time actually enjoying where they live. The pace here allows people to breathe a little more during their day. For professionals who work remotely or split time between home and office, this becomes especially noticeable. The environment supports focus during the week and relaxation without needing to leave town on weekends. Another shift people describe is how their routines change over time. Evening walks become more common. Outdoor activities happen naturally after work. Weekends feel less secluded and more flexible. Life starts to feel less reactive and more intentional. And while this may sound subtle, it's often one of the biggest reasons that residents say they feel settled here sooner than they expected. So Danville manages to offer connection to major metropolitan regions while still giving residents a sense of separation from the constant urgency. And life is so demanding these days that is huge. So you're very close to everything, but you don't feel pulled in every which direction. When people start to seriously consider Danville, one of the most helpful things to understand is who tends to thrive here. Danville is especially appealing for people looking for balance between access and lifestyle. Many residents are professionals or families who want proximity to major job centers while living in an environment that feels calmer and more residential. It's a strong fit for buyers who value community, outdoor space, and neighborhoods where people tend to stay long term. People who move here are often looking for stability as much as location. Families are drawn to the schools and the community involvement here in Danville. Remote workers appreciate having space and quieter daily environments. And many move-up buyers choose Danville when they're ready for more room and a different pace of living. And the great lots. We have really large lots in Danville. So it really has something for everyone. If someone is looking for dense urban energy, nightlife, or highly walkable city environments with constant activities, they may feel more comfortable in areas closer to major downtown centers. Danville is less about constant activity and more about equality of everyday living. And understanding that distinction actually helps buyers make confident decisions. Because the goal isn't finding the most popular place, it's finding the right lifestyle match. Once people recognize that alignment, they may begin to understand why so many residents choose to stay here for years and years to come. One of the strongest indicators of a community's appeal is how long people choose to stay. In Danville, it's common to meet homeowners who have lived here for 10, 20, even 30 years or more. Over time, neighborhoods develop familiarity. Children grow up together. Local routines become traditions, and people build lasting connections within the community. Many residents don't just live here, they put roots down here. That long-term ownership also contributes to neighborhood stability. Homes are well maintained, communities feel established, and change tends to happen gradually rather than rapidly. For many buyers relocating from areas where people move frequently, this creates a noticeable difference, and you can feel it in the atmosphere. There's a sense that Danville isn't just a temporary stop. It becomes home in a deeper sense. And that combination, location, lifestyle, community, and the long-term stability is ultimately what keeps Danville consistently ranking as one of the most desirable places to live in the East Bay. So if you've been considering a move to the East Bay, hopefully this gives you a clear picture of what makes Danville unique and why so many people choose to call it home. Every city offers something different, and the right choice always comes down to lifestyle, priorities, and how you want daily life to feel. Choosing where you live is really choosing how you want to live. And in this series, I'll be breaking down different parts of Danville in more detail, including neighborhoods, housing styles, market insights, and what buyers should know before making a move here. And if that would be helpful for you, consider subscribing so you don't miss the upcoming videos that I'm going to put out. And if you have questions about relocating or topics you'd like me to cover next, feel free. Please leave them in the comments. I read every one and I use them to shape future videos. Before we wrap up, if we haven't met yet, my name is Kari Wahl and I'm a local real estate advisor here in the East Bay. And I create these videos to help people understand what living in communities like Danville is actually like before they make the move.